Hey guys, so today we got a DDD deck profile. Messing around with the deck for a while. A few things that I'm kind of been testing out. It's obviously quite a difficult format to play a deck like this when there's cards like, well, there's decks like Zodiac where they can go off on one card, whereas DD really they require like three. But obviously they can get some pretty good fields out if they get the right stuff. So it's all down to consistency, I guess. But this is my profile anyway, so see what you think. Start off with through Kepler, Searcher for the spells, 3 green for the fusion from hand, 3 red for the fusion from graveyard, 3 Lamia, which is like standard like all of these, the tuner, really good, makes the deck insane, 3 Copernicus, which is Ramageddon Knight. You can send the monsters or the spells. You don't really tend to send the spells. I mean, I never have, but you know, it's there, I guess. 3 Ragnarok, one of the best cards of the deck. If you open this with 2 or 3 of the pieces, you're gonna open like Crystal Wing, Siegfried, maybe a Hope Harbinger, you know, stuff like that, and hopefully some Vanity's Emptiness if you've been lucky. 2 Thomas. I'm not really like. I play this card because you kind of have to for the numbers. I'm not a fan of it myself, but it comes in handy every now and again when you've got the trap card with it as well. It just means you can recycle the cards that you discard for it, but I guess it's preference, you need it though. And then you've got the standard hand traps, which is obviously 2 Maxi, 1 Ghost Ogre for the for everything really, for Zodiacs in particular, I guess. So that's the monsters out of the way. All standard stuff, like. It gets a bit different in the end, to be honest. Obviously, you've got next your 3 spells. Again, standard stuff, such as any DD from the deck. You've got 1 Dark Contract with Swamp King. A lot of people play 2 of this. I just find it's a good card, but you only really need 1. If you banish it, well, you know, you get unlucky. But I think the space is so tight in the deck, you can't really afford to play a second. Again, that's just personal preference, I guess. 2 Desires. I think if you watch any DD deck profile on here, like, you'll see they all play 2. I think if you're playing 3, it's overkill. You don't, you know, the amount of searching you go through the deck, you're killing yourself off really. 2 Allure. I was playing 3, but I've kind of changed my mind on that. 1 for 1. Again, just to get into the Lamia and the Kepler and all that. Raigeki, standard. You need to get over the Zodiac boards. Vanities, obviously. Dark Contract with a Witch on the traps, obviously. Standard. It's a nice first turn when you get this with from Kepler. It means you can start popping stuff of your opponent's, especially with Zodiac. Before they start going off, you can even use it to target Barrage. So when they go Barrage, you just target Chain, and then obviously they don't get that off, which is quite good against them, obviously. Barrage just makes them go nuts. And then like the kind of the preference cards in the deck, which kind of makes it a bit different, I guess, from the others. I've got just 1 Drowning Mirror Force, which is the one obviously when you've got no monsters on the field, which is it's kind of rare, I guess, you get it off unless they just happen to go Dark Hole Raigeki or Kaiju Slumber, of course. It's handy to have just in case. It does seem to get people out of surprise a lot of the time. 2 Quaking. This card is really good at the moment, especially when, again, it's stuff they don't really expect, I guess. And like my favourite card of the deck at the moment, not that I've got it off that much, but when I do, 2 Full Force Virus. It's from the from the newest set. You tribute off a dark guy with 2k defense or more, and every monster in your opponent's hand, field, gets sent to graveyard for 3 turns with 1500 or less defense. It's pretty good. So that's our lineup for the main deck. Again, kind of standard stuff. There's a few things that are different, I suppose, but it's kind of hard to change the deck too much without hitting the consistency. Then we go on to the extra deck. So obviously standard stuff again is 2 Genghis. Some people play 2, some play 3. It depends on preference. I don't. There's never been a time yet when I've needed to go into 3, because usually by the time I would need to go into 3, I've already won or lost. So I guess that's just a thing. It's down to space again. You do struggle with space in the extra deck in this deck. You got Diarch obviously, which is really good. If your opponent goes Max C on you, it's handy to have just the one card. Just go into that and just hope they don't OTK you. And if they do, well, you know, you weren't going to win anyway if they go Max C against you. Beowulf, it's pretty much just there. The effect is nice for the heavy storm, but you only really use it alongside Ragnarok to go into Hope Harbinger, which is coming up. I mean, it's piercing damage, so it's nice, I suppose. And that's just the fusions. You got Alexander, obviously, combos off really well with the Lamia, Green Slime, Red Slime, and Ragnarok combo, and lots of other combos. But if you get this out, and you're doing quite well. And Siegfried, obviously, one of the best cards. Well, definitely one of my favourites. It's the go-to one. You get to negate a spell or trap, quick effect. You can't complain, can you? That's the DD stuff over. Crystal Wing, it's Crystal Wing. You can't complain about a free monster negation. Omega, this card is really good. When you realise actually how to play it properly, which I didn't until recently, but it's nuts. Meteorburst Dragon, like with this, it's basically just so you can get the Ragnarok play off. So you use the effect of Ragnarok in the scale to bring back, I don't know, like Lamia or whatever. Special Meteorburst specials Ragnarok, and then you can just basically get a free summon from that as well. So you get both effects of Ragnarok in the same turn. And then we have Formula Synchron and Hyper Librarian, which is just, it's rare you get both of them off, but there is a combo when you can go +4, I think. And when you summon, obviously, Librarian, Synchron, so you draw 2. And then you can usually go into, get Genghis and Synchron to go into another one, and sometimes maybe go into another. You can usually get at least 2 if you manage to get those 2 out. Obviously, it's with Lamia, Kepler, and Copernicus, which is kind of nice if you're struggling with card resources and stuff like that. And then just the kind of preference stuff. I mean, this is that's just in there because it looks nice, and I had the free space in there, and it's just I guess it's an out to it's mainly in there because it's an out to Whiptail. I think it's Whiptail, the Zodiac. So obviously it destroys them. It destroys the card before they get to activate the effect to banish, which is can be quite problematic sometimes with this deck. Obviously, they've usually got the effect of Trident to pop and the effect, so you can only get one with Crystal Wing, which is usually what you're going to go to. So anyway, Trishula, never got this off at all, but I guess it's there because there'll be one time when you do need it and it'll be good. And Moonlight, which is it's kind of rubbish against Zodiac, but if you go against the Mirror, go against Infernoid, I guess. I haven't played against them yet, so I don't really have a clue. But it's always nice to have. And this obviously for the to go into get that with Ragnarok, or if you can actually go into it with if you get Thomas's effect off as well. It's just an instant spell negation, which is always nice. So that's the extra deck, and then we go to the side. Most things in here are standard, but there's a few things that I'm still testing. Obviously, start with DD Orthros. I don't think it's good enough to be in the main deck, but it's nice to have in the side just if you go against something that's using a lot of back row. You can actually, there's a nice thing with this, and Thomas, you can use this effect obviously to pop a guy, an opponent's spell or trap on the field, and then you can use Thomas in the pendulum scale to bring it back the next turn, so you can keep using it. It's quite nice. So that's Orthros. 2 Vanities Fiend. It's a risky one. I'm still testing this because it's kind of sit on the castle, which is something I've kind of done a lot in the past with Bujin and stuff like that. But it's quite risky to put all your resources into this. It's kind of one of those when you put your eggs into one basket. It can be risky to do more plays. You could go into this, or maybe a Siegfried or a negation or something. But I guess it depends on what deck you play against. 2 Twin Twisters, obviously, for everything, I suppose. The third full force, just Zodiac, Zodiac basically. I mean, that's all you're really going to be playing against these days. 2 Onyx Spell. There probably should be a third, but I don't know where it's gone. This is something I'm testing out at the moment, this engine. I've got the Kaiju engine in here, so I've got 3 Slumber, 1 Gamma Seal, 1 Thunder King, and 2 Raiden. I really like this engine. Obviously you got the these 2 guys here for the Allure target. I think you kind of need this going against Sudak if you're going second, because board wipes really hurt them, and it can, just to get over the Trident alone, because the Trident, the interruption can really do some damage to your deck. If they can interrupt you at the start, if they you know, maybe pop the Genghis, it can be quite problematic. So it's nice to have this in there, and that's pretty much it. A few things worth mentioning. I've been testing out. Well, I literally tested once yesterday. A Shadol version of this deck. So it was an OCG version from last year at some point, I think, when Zudaks were around, I think. So I need to test that out. If anybody's tested it already or has the time to test it, let me know what you think. Just like 2 fusion, Winder, Shek, Beast, Hedgehog and Dragon. Just makes going second against Sudak a bit better. Even if you're going first, you can finish off with a winner, which is quite nice. If you go in second, you get the free, you get a free fusion summon. Kaiju's in the main. I tried it in the main deck. I didn't really like it. It just hurts the deck too much. It's just dead stuff in hand. Whereas the Shadol stuff, I suppose if it was in the main deck instead of the side, it wouldn't be dead that much. But it's something that needs testing. And yeah, that's really it. That's pretty much, to be honest, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give us a thumbs up. Any comments, constructive criticism is appreciated on the deck. Hope you enjoyed. See you later.